What's going on, guys? Jacoby Kendrick here, the BJJ Realtor, just coming at you with another video. Want to come at you with a jiu-jitsu tip, which is basically how to roll with your training partners, right? And I got this idea from, actually I saw an article. It was just scrolling around on an article on Facebook the other day and saw it, and it basically said your training partners are not your opponents, or your training partners aren't your enemies, basically. And I thought it was a really good topic. Really got me to start thinking about your training partners and how you roll with your training partners. And so I thought it was a really good thing to talk about. And so whenever you're rolling, this is going to come from a competitor standpoint as well, which probably comes from any jiu-jitsu practitioner standpoint. But I think really for me, the thing I want to do is I want to get better at jiu-jitsu, right? And so I think it's really easy. I did this especially in the beginning. Whenever you go to class and whenever you're going to roll, you want to just win the rolls that you have with your training partners and the people that are in your class. But now that I'm a little further along in my journey, really the thing that I'm looking for is to get better every single day, and to get better at different techniques and get better at different positions, and also to learn the concepts of jiu-jitsu a whole lot better, right? And so our sensei always says, you guys know jiu-jitsu, but you don't know jiu-jitsu. And I think that's really, really good that he says that, because there's a lot of truth in that, right? Especially if you are at the beginning of your journey. And so really, whenever you are rolling in class, especially in competition class, I think as well, you really want to do well. But whenever I go to a class, I've got an objective in mind. I've got something that I want to do whenever I'm rolling with each training partner that I've got. For instance, recently, back a few months ago, we had Master Worlds, right? And if you watch some of my last videos, you'll see that I got choked out for the first time in Master Worlds. And lately, or back in the past, I've really gotten slowed down by the lockdown. So lockdown, when you're in half guard trying to pass half guard, most guys, because I put a lot of pressure on guys, shoulder pressure, they put me in the lockdown, for one, just to stop that shoulder pressure, and then to try to just keep me from coming forward. And so there's a couple of guys in our gym, training partners, when we got done, when I got back, I sought them out. And when they were in class, I was like, hey, we need to roll, because I need to learn how to pass this lockdown position. And so whenever we rolled, we still rolled, but then whenever we got to that position, I literally put myself in position for them to put me in lockdown so I could start moving out of that position and learning how to pass from that position, just learning the nuances from it. And then even when they do that, I don't just barrel through and crush the guy. What I do myself is I want to learn all the angles from that position. So I might put a little more pressure forward and see if he can off balance me. I might lean to the different side, and then, I might get back in that position again, and I might try something else. And so what I'm trying to do really is I'm trying to learn that position the best that I can. He might tap me out, I might tap him out, but for me, in that situation, it does not matter the outcome. What matters to me is that whenever I'm getting the lockdown position, I feel confident now of what I need to do and what sequences I need to use in order to get out of that position, right? And so that's just one example there. The other example is I don't play a lot of guard, which I'm playing a lot more now. And so there are a couple of guys, training partners that I have, that are really good at opening the guard, that are really good at passing the guard. And I'm like, man, if I can get good. And so right now, what I'm doing is I'm pulling guard on these guys. And in the beginning, it was just me trying to maintain my guard, just trying to keep the guard. But as we move along, now it's me trying to attack a little bit. And now as I start to try to attack and open up, they seem to open my guard a lot easier now. I could just hold them there and hold them tight and just keep them there, but I'm not learning anything there, and they're not learning anything either. And so it goes the same as when I want to work on my top game. We've got one guy in my gym who's got a phenomenal guard. He's a long guy, he's tall, and he's my weight. And so whenever I want to start, working on my guard passing, especially, open guard passing, I start rolling with him. I roll with him a lot more whenever I want to start working on my guard passing. I don't just roll with him because I know I can beat him or he can beat me or anything like that. I specifically roll with him because I want to get better at guard passing. That's one reason. And then if that's the case, I'll even let him get me in the guard whenever we start out, and so it just all depends on what you want to do. And so that's what I want to say, is that you want to go into your training sessions with a plan, knowing what you need to work, what you want to work on, what you need to work on, and then try to work with those training partners that can actually help you get better at those techniques, or, whatever you're looking to get better at. And so that's one thing that I would say is definitely a mindset shift for me. I throw my ego out the window now, because I don't care if I win a round or I don't win a round. I can get tapped 5 times in 3 minutes with a black belt, but if I'm working on my technique and I get better at my technique because of that, that is an absolute win for me. And so I'm all about the journey now. And there are some times when our sensei tells us, hey, this is the, semi-final round of worlds. Like, you need to win the round. You have to score. That's a little bit different. But for most situations, I'm usually trying to get better at jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to expand my game, learn all the different techniques and what's out there, because I'm just a blue belt, right? I'm a blue belt. That's basically what you do at blue belt. And so that's what I say. Your training partners, they're not your enemy. They're not your opponent, right? They're there to make you better. If you want opponents, you need to go compete. And then when you go compete at a competition, then you can destroy your opponents. Your training partners are there to make you better. They're there to push you and to, level up your game. So hope that's helpful for you guys. Those were just kind of my thoughts as I read through that article, and look forward to talking to you guys soon.